Look at these great pictures. Would you believe me if I told you that these pictures were taken with a tiny camera phone? I know what you're thinking, but it is possible to take really good quality pictures with your camera phone. You just need to know a few little tricks. Coming up, I'll reveal some of the secrets you need to know to take great-looking photographs on your camera phone by simply taking advantage of all of its capabilities. And you'll learn how easy it is to share them with your friends, either electronically or by printing them out. Say goodbye to those grainy, fuzzy camera phone pictures and learn how to be a camera phone connoisseur right now on The Whole Picture. Welcome to The Whole Picture. I'm Erin Manning. You know, how many times have you been somewhere and said, if only I had a camera? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people have been in the same situation. That's why these camera phones seem so attractive. You have your camera phone with you and you can always take a picture, right? Oh, but when you look at the quality of the picture, it may not seem so attractive. It might have some noise in it, which is similar to film grain, or maybe the color is muddy, or it's soft and out of focus. So it's really not worth sharing with anyone unless you're sending it to their camera phone. But that always doesn't have to be the case. Let me show you some pictures I took with my camera phone. First off, I only printed these up to 5x7 because with camera phones, you just don't have the resolution to print them much larger. Now here's a picture I took of a friend of mine in my studio. We've got a few things going on around him, but the main thing is I was able to get his entire face in here. So if I were to send it off to someone else with a camera phone, they could see it on their screen. Here's a picture of another friend of mine. Great expression on his face, and I was able to get some more color in there because I had some nice light. And then my favorite picture is of Maddie, and I got in really close to her, captured a great expression, and was also able to get good color in there because I had a lot of natural light coming in. Now I'll show you some pictures a student of mine sent me, Megan Henley. And as you can see, she's having some of the same problems with her pictures that I just mentioned. This one's out of focus, a little soft, and the colors are muddy. And on this one, well, she took it from so far away, I'm just not really sure where we are. I think it's the ocean, I'm not sure. The color is off and it definitely is out of focus and a little soft. I'm gonna head downtown and show Megan how to take great pictures with her camera phone. Now, she told me she wanted to go shopping because she was redecorating her living room, and I thought this would be a perfect time to practice taking pictures with her camera phone. Now, the first thing you'll learn today is how to take your camera phone out of the automatic mode, and some other good basics for taking pictures. You'll also learn how to compose your shot for the best possible photograph. Next, I'll show you how to send all these pictures out to your friends and family on your camera phone. And then finally, we'll come back here to my studio and I'll show you how to enhance the pictures, make them look even better. Now, before we get started, I need to mention that all the things I'm going over today are pretty basic, and they're going to vary between mobile phone and between wireless carriers. So it might be a good time to go hunt down that manual for your camera phone. And you also want to know what the storage capability is on your camera phone. A lot of camera phones have limited storage capacity, but what the mobile phone manufacturers have done to remedy this is they've added the capability of you adding in a storage card to increase your capacity. You can just add it in right there. Now, these storage cards are pretty small. They're similar to the storage cards that you'll use in your digital camera. Here's the one for your digital camera. Here's the one for your camera phone. It's really tiny and really fragile. In fact, I'm going to put it in my hand so you can see just how tiny it really is. So you want to make sure you handle these as little as possible. In fact, if you do have to take it out of your camera phone, just make sure it's turned off. Because if you don't turn off your camera phone and you try to take this out, you could damage the phone, you could damage the card, and you could also lose all your pictures. Not good. Okay, while I head out to meet Megan, take a look at some of the other camera phone pictures I took using some of the same techniques you'll learn today. Did you ever think that automatic could make things more difficult? I'll show you why taking control of your camera phone can only make capturing good pictures easier. And you'll learn why careful composition will make your pictures even better. That's next on The Whole Picture. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. The convenience of a camera phone is often overshadowed by the quality of the pictures they take. My student Megan Henley is shopping for furniture for her living room and wanted to use her camera phone to document the items that she likes. That way she can share them with her husband so they can make their final decisions together. In most of her pictures so far, it's difficult to tell what an item is, let alone any important details. So I'm meeting Megan over at the store to teach her how to take good camera phone pictures. Hey, Megan.
Hi, how are ya?
Great. You know what? I love the store you picked out.
I know, I love this place. I've been here several times.
Great modern furniture, too. Okay, let's take some pictures.
All right.
Did you bring your cell phone?
I sure did.
Okay. You know what I like to do whenever I'm shopping and I want to document everything is get a shot of the sign outside the door.
Okay.
Let's start with a shot of that. That way we can remember where we were when we look at the pictures. Okay, let's take a look. All right, turned out pretty good. Okay, let's start with our first camera phone lesson.
All right.
Whenever you're taking pictures, try to take the camera phone out of the automatic setting, okay? Now, as a professional photographer, whenever I'm shooting with my regular camera, I never shoot in automatic because I don't want the camera to be making the decisions for me on the lighting exposure.
Of course.
Same thing goes with the camera phone, okay? So if you're to take the picture like you just did of the sign, it's going to take its best guesstimate on the lighting conditions, and that's kind of hard for cell phones to do, so the pictures may not turn out so great.
Okay.
So what you want to do is know the kind of lighting that you're shooting in, and then choose that manually here on the settings on the phone.
Okay.
So right now it's kind of a little cloudy. Let's go ahead and choose the cloudy setting on here.
Okay.
The first thing to do to ensure good pictures from your camera phone is to make sure the lens is clean. A dirty lens will prevent the camera from accurately focusing or getting the correct exposure. Okay, let's increase the resolution here. Next, make sure that your camera phone is set to the highest resolution possible. The higher the resolution, the more information is stored. And the more digital information that you have, the easier the photo will be to work with on the computer. Remember, your motto for good camera phone pictures should be good light equals good pictures, and bad light equals bad pictures. So try to shoot where you have good bright light. And for the best images, avoid using the automatic setting. Don't leave it up to your camera phone to guess the correct lighting situation. Before taking your pictures, navigate your phone to the Picture Setup option, and then select Lighting Conditions. Then it's up to you to choose the setting that best suits your lighting conditions. Okay. Another key to taking good pictures is once you frame your subject, wait about 5 seconds before taking the picture. This gives the camera time to focus and set the proper exposure. Take pictures and experiment with the lighting settings. You can also adjust the camera's contrast and brightness settings. Just play with them until you're happy with what you see. No, it looks pretty good.
Thanks.
Okay, here's another tip. Whenever you're taking pictures of something you're thinking of buying, take a picture of the object, and then take a picture of the price tag.
Okay.
That way, it's easy to remember everything. And another rule of thumb with this camera phone is the closest you can get to an object and keep it in focus is about 2.5 feet.
Okay.
You want to fill the frame with your object for a few different reasons. One, if you don't have a background, there's nothing to detract from that object. Two, it's a lot easier for the camera phone to adjust its exposure and focus on the object.
Okay.
And let's say you want to send this picture off to someone else, say on another camera phone.
Oh yeah, I have friends who do that.
Okay. Well, it'll be easier to see, especially if they have a small screen, if that photograph fills the frame.
Okay.
Okay, so the rule of thumb with camera phone pictures is less is more.
Okay.
Composing your shot takes on more importance with the small format of the camera phone. The more things in your pictures, the more difficulty the phone will have processing the information. If you're going to have a lot of background behind your subject, try to make sure it's as simple as possible. A busy background doesn't work well for any digital camera, and on a camera phone, the image will look even worse. Fill the frame with your subject and check to see that nothing is growing out of their head or ears. And avoid shooting looking down at your subject. Make every attempt to shoot at your subject's eye level. Most camera phones have a digital zoom feature. Be sure to get as close as you can to your subject before using the zoom. If you're going to work with your photos on a computer, avoid the zoom feature altogether. If you are going to use the phone zoom feature, be sure to hold the camera very steady. Camera phone images are more susceptible to camera shake than regular digital cameras. When you're in close to your subject, watch the focus. Don't forget, these tiny lenses have a short focal length when they're up close. It's usually limited to around 2 feet. The key to getting great camera phone pictures is to experiment so that you know the capabilities of your phone. Be sure to take the time before that once-in-a-lifetime shot comes along to know the limitations of your camera phone. For more information on taking camera phone pictures, be sure to check out our website at DIYnetwork.com. You'll also find information on composition and how digital zoom works. Can't wait to share? When we come back, I'll teach you how to send your camera phone pictures out instantly. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. To take good pictures with your camera phone, you have to understand how to take control of your camera. Then you need to take special care to compose your shot so they fill the frame. But once you have a shot you're proud of, how do you share it? Those look pretty good. Welcome back to The Whole Picture. I'm Erin Manning, and I'm teaching Megan Henley how to take good pictures on her camera phone. Right, Megan?
Right.
Actually, they're looking pretty good.
Thanks.
A lot better. Let's say you wanted to take a picture of this vase, for instance, and share it with one of your friends. What would you normally do?
I'd call her up and tell her about it.
But now that you know how to use your camera phone, you can just take a picture and send it to her. Then you can talk about it.
I always knew you could do that, but I just couldn't get it to work, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's good. Now you can. And actually, it's really easy. Sending a picture from your phone to someone else varies a little by phone manufacturer, but here are the basics. When you have the picture you like, press the menu button and navigate to the Send in Message option. Then punch in the phone number or email address of the person you want to send the picture to. Now just key in the message to be included with the picture, then press OK. When you're sure everything is correct, just hit the Send button and off it goes. Actually, this is a cool phone. If you want to send a picture that you've already stored on your camera, just navigate to your picture library and select the image you want to send. Then press the menu button and navigate to Send in Message. And then just add the phone number and message and send it off. Within just a few moments, your friends will be sharing your picture with you. Okay, I'm gonna head out, but you keep taking pictures.
Okay.
And why don't you meet me at my studio tomorrow and I'll show you how to print them all out.
Okay.
All right, and you know what? Email me some tonight too.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now that Megan's got great pictures from her mobile phone, a whole new world of possibilities has opened up. Up next, I'll show her how to move her pictures to the computer and print them out. Although it's a little more than just pointing and shooting, taking good pictures with your camera phone is easy. And you have the added benefit of being able to instantly send them out to your friends. Now that you have good pictures you're proud of, what if you want to print them out? Well, Megan is meeting me back at my studio so I can show her how. Okay, I went ahead and downloaded your pictures to the computer, but just so you know, there are different ways you can do that. Now, with your camera phone, you can either attach a cable and plug that into your computer, download it that way. Some camera phones have wireless capability, so you could send the pictures to the computer via Bluetooth, or you can just take the storage card out and put it in a card reader like I did.
Okay.
So I went ahead and put all the pictures on here. Let's take a look.
All right.
See what you might be buying. Nice chairs. Let's click through and see some more. Okay, I think that's good that you put the price tag on there. That way it's easy to remember. Okay, and an overview of the whole store, which is good. And we can see everything in there. Give it some context. And this is a little blown out, but you know what? Not every picture is going to be perfect. That's okay. More lamps and things, and that's nice when you're up close. Everyone has to have matching pajamas and sheets, I think.
Of course.
That's a great pillow. And another price tag, good. So it's a good visual reference. All right, here's a great bowl. And this picture will make an excellent picture to use as an example of blurring out the background because we don't want to see everything else around this bowl. So let's try an experiment, okay? We'll use this image editing software, come up here to the menu bar and click on File. We're going to roll down to Save As and save this under a different name. So that way we're working on a copy. Just call it whatever you'd like to call it, as long as you remember what it is.
Okay.
Because sometimes things can get lost on your computer. You forget where you store them. And go ahead and click OK. And this way we're archiving the original in case anything happens. All right, in image editing software, it's all pretty much based on working with layers. So what we want to do is create a duplicate layer here. You do it by going over to the right. See where it says More up there on the right and has a little drop-down arrow? Click on that and roll down to Duplicate Layer. Okay, click OK. Now we have 2 layers we're working on, and this is really important. I'll show you why. We're going to come over here to the toolbar and pick on a selection tool. Let's say this lasso tool right here. It looks like a lasso because we're going to lasso this bowl. Okay. All right, now let's draw with the pen. This is an art tablet, and right now you're using the mouse. So let's get rid of the mouse and use the pen. And this way it'll be really easy to draw around the bowl. You said you're an artist, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you draw a lot.
Yes.
Well, this is kind of similar to that, just a little bit of a different feel to it. So you can kind of get the feel. Start at the edge of the bowl and draw around the bowl. So you don't want to back up or stop. You just want to keep going around that bowl all the way to the end till the lines meet. And you'll get the feel of it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect on the line either. That's okay. And if you mess up, that's okay. We'll just do it again. Okay, that's great. Now it looks like we have little dancing ants all around the bowl, right?
Yes.
That means it's a selection tool and we've selected the bowl. Now what we want to do is go ahead and put the pen up, and we're just going to click on the delete key on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now it looks like we haven't done anything, right? But if you go over here to your layers, you can see that the bowl has actually been deleted. Now, we have visibility on both of these layers, and we can turn it on or turn it off by clicking on this little eye on the left. So let's turn off the visibility on the background layer that we're not working on.
This one?
Turn that off. Now you see a little checkerboard pattern here?
Yes.
That's the area, that's the bowl that we deleted. And the reason we did that is because we're going to blur out this background on this layer, all right?
Okay.
We're going to do that by coming up here to the menu bar, click on Filter, roll down to Blur, and then move over to Motion Blur. There you go. All right. Oh, it already blurred already. It was because if you look down here, there's a little slider bar, and the slider bar was already kind of set in the middle, but if you click and drag on it back and forth, you can see that it will blur it less or blur it more, depending on how much you drag it over. So if you drag it over to the right, the blurrier the background is. Looks pretty good, nice effect. Okay, let's click OK. Now we want to see both layers, so turn the visibility back on that background layer. Right down here, turn the eyeball back on. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Now look at that.
That
looks
looks
pretty
great.
good. Okay, let's come up here to File, Save. And we're going to save it before we print it. All right, just go ahead and click Save. Let's print it out. If you'd like to learn more about taking camera phone pictures or any of the techniques you saw here today, just log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com. Okay, Megan, do you feel like you learned a lot today?
I did. I was very impressed with what I could do with my camera phone.
You got a lot of great shots, I think.
I did.
And did some good shopping.
I did.
Take a look at the picture you printed out.
It really does look good. I love the blur.
Yeah.
It looks great.
You know what? You really isolated it from the background, and I think it looks beautiful, and now you'll always remember this great bowl.
I will, and I'm going to try the blur again.
Okay, good. Well, don't be afraid to take other pictures with your camera phone. And remember, the more pictures you take, the better you get.
Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Now, I hope you'll use what you learned today and take your own great camera phone pictures. Join me next time on The Whole Picture. All right, now I want to see more of these bowls.